Freedom to me means doing what you want to do, when you want to do it, and with whom you want to do it. I believe work ethic tied with leveraging one's opportunities in life is what brings things together. There's 5 freedoms: money freedom, freedom of relationships, freedom of time, freedom of purpose, freedom of health. Being focused on what those freedoms look like for each person is very important, because then they can actually drive towards those and figure out what are the steps to get there, and get there faster, and not just hope that someday it happens magically, because it won't. I grew up in a family with 2 other children, and my father was a physician, and of course wanted to take care of us, and made sure we had good dental care, among other things. Getting into braces, when I believe I was in the 4th grade, I went and had some teeth extracted, had the headgear appliance. Some may remember the big old headgear. My orthodontist was, to me, such a cool guy. What I mean by cool guy is he showed a genuine interest in me. So in my first year of dental school, and I reached out to my dad, who had never invested in any real estate other than maybe his practice or homes we lived in. I said, Dad, I think this would be an opportunity to invest in real estate. Dad had faith and said, look, I'll put up the financing, I'll put up the down payment, I'll be your investor, if you will, capital investor. You, David, being here in Dallas, you're going to be the managing, quote, partner. So that's the first joint venture. I found that real estate made a whole lot more sense than this thing called stock market or paper assets. It just did. It was something that I feel like I could have some control over. I could exert some amount of control and do something of value, rather than just kind of playing a numbers game on Wall Street. So that's where I went. I remember the day that I got the call. And that was a day, I remember, in August 2004, and I'm working in my office that day. I can even remember the patient I'm working on. I can remember the assistant that's working with me. It's one of those times in life where you can recall vivid details because it was such a momentous time. My daughter, Jenna, who was 12 at that time, was in end-stage liver failure. She had been put on a transplant list, and it's just waiting for the call. The call when the day the hospital says, we have a liver, and that's the call I got. And I realized that time was something that I could not compartmentalize. I couldn't hold on to it. With all the money in the world, I couldn't fix an issue that was out of my hands. And I made a decision there in that hospital room. I am going to sell my dental practice. That day, really, I'd say, changed everything for me going forward. What's the worst case scenario? If you make a certain decision, what is the worst case scenario? Can you live by it? And what would be your contingency or plan B? And my daughter, Jenna, her sickness, her crisis of health is what caused me to pull the trigger and say, I'm ready for plan B. Plan B was there, thankfully. Without a plan B, without the real estate that I'd built up over about 15 years and the passive income that it provided for me that I didn't have to work for every day, gave me that freedom to make that decision to sell the practice. How can we do some resets in our model, take what we already know, but maybe expand it or widen the net? So you all are in the elite group for a reason. Most people didn't really know my story about real estate because I kept that as a sideline. As I told the story about real estate in some brevity, enough of these friends, could be just a small handful, said, well, that's really interesting, could you help me? Fast forward just a couple years, and I got the idea that maybe we invite more intentionally specific people who would like to be a part of this group as a membership and learn, again, from each other. I always say that your network is your net worth. It's people that you know. Well, I spent 37 years building my network, and it's like, well, why shouldn't I share this with other people who need the same help? So a lot of times I get this question, more times than not, is, so what is this Freedom Founders? What do you do? People, I think, hear about the fact that we do real estate. We do real estate really, really well. There's no such thing as guaranteed safety in anything, but I do everything I can to make the opportunity for our membership great with real estate. And that's the skill set that our members take away with them for the rest of their lives, and they're passing on to their kids. How to actually orchestrate cash flow, sustainability, building wealth, and having intention and knowledge about how to do that. Does it take some work? Yeah. But I believe Freedom Founders provides what I call just-in-time information. You don't need an MBA, you don't need to go to school for years to learn about commercial real estate. We bring all that to them to get it done quickly and succinctly.
I'm really big about surrounding yourself with the right kind of people in life, the people that have integrity, the people you have a like-mindedness with, an entrepreneurial spirit. Those are the kind of people that really give me energy. They really jazz me up.
They're having the aha moments. And now they want to not only help do that within their families and pass it on to their children, but also, to their colleagues, their friends. We want people with character. We want people who want to give back in life, that want to focus on getting their freedom so they can give more. And that's what we have. And the transformation that's happening that we see in the lives of the people who come, that's what keeps this thing going for me. It's more about the people first. The investments are important, but the people, yeah, they all have great businesses. They all have a lot of experience, but what's at their core? What's their character about? And in a room like this where there's trust, people will open up and talk about that. And that's where you'd see the vulnerability, because everybody's vulnerable. Everybody has their weak spots, but what's the integrity like? It's not just about building bigger and bigger businesses or making millions and millions of dollars, but there's always got to be a purpose behind that, right? And you got to hear that these people have families. They're talking about, legacy. We're all building a legacy. I'm building a legacy. You're building a legacy. The question is, are we doing it intentionally, or are we doing it by default? What none of these other masterminds offer is the additional ROI, return on investment, that we do at Freedom Founders. So we offer the high-level thought leaders, the perspective, the feedback, the challenges, opportunities, all of that board of advisory, but we also offer real estate, highly curated real estate. Lastly, but very important, set a deadline. The longer you wait, procrastinate to make a tough decision, typically the worse it gets. So set a deadline. Don't procrastinate. You define your success and your goals as far as freedom is concerned, and what we do is we help you speed to that goal. We provide a blueprint. It's customized, it's individualized for each person, because everybody's goals and where they are in life is different. We don't do it for them, we do that with them. Because when you're part of the process, you believe in it, and it's going to be part of your DNA.
Not building something for the sake of building something big, grow it big, big, big. No, I want something that's authentic, that really delivers and brings real transformation to people. That is what Freedom Founders is all about.
And I think it's easy for our members to say, as they do, people who are with us today and people who've left after 3, 4, 5 years, saying, one of the best decisions I made in my life. David, you and your team, the other members, have transformed the way I think in my life. Everything looking forward is totally different. Families and spouses having new hope and a direction, a blueprint, a pathway to get there. That's what drives me, to know we're making a difference. We are having an impact.